In tonight's research, Dandadan Episode 11, Shoujo Romance, and Anime Pose. Let knowledge flow. Hola, minasan! Welcome back for another round of Dandadan research. Yes, Gigi is here. Yes, Gigi is here. We're going to be dedicating an entire episode to Gigi. What a fun character he's going to be. Like I said, I'm ahead in the manga. I'm actually in real time reading each chapter weekly. So pretty exciting to see how he's depicted here, how they translated him to here. First Love, episode 11 of Dandadan. So, yeah, this is a call to action. Comment, like, subscribe, follow, hit the notification bell, and let us begin researching. Still doing her Hiroshi Abe impression. Momo's childhood friend. I believe it's first crush, not love. The context is they were kids. Hatsukoi no Hito does mean first love. However, the no Hito part contextualizes with a person, but we are talking about little kids here. Therefore, the translation should be first crush. Remember though, this is Japan. The context of love is culturally different. Context is very important when speaking Japanese. I'm gonna have to look at the translations later. Yeah, I see. First crush. Yes. That's so cool. Because she called her auntie. I just love Gigi. Of course, the Chuni. Ragnarok. Dang it, you're not Sailor Moon, stop it. And she brought her shoes. Man, stop walking like an old man, Okurun. Straighten out that back. You're one nut man now. Don't forget at lunchtime, we are scratching hair, okay? Scratching hair, understand? Ay Dios mijo. Yeah, she doesn't want to say it first this time. She wants him to say it first. And then she can respond back. She doesn't want to be the one saying it all the time. She wants to feel like he wants to see her again, just as much as she wants to see him. Man, that's a good capture. Oh, his heart is like pumping out crazy. My man ate the whole hamburger like that.
てめえ天才かよ。ジジの両親が2人とも入院しちまってんだよ。親戚のうちとか行くっしょ、こういう時。おばちゃんマジかっけ。おいおいジジ、てめえは本当に天才だな。たくさん食えよ。おばちゃんマジかわいいっすね。ジジてめえ。
She just loves she rewards him for that. Even as a kid, he's always JoJo posing. Right, because he didn't believe it.
俺今下ネタ言った？俺引っ越したから中学別々だったじゃん。引っ越した先が結構山でさ、新しい家もでかくて綺麗だし、初めはテンション上がってた。俺も勘違いだってそう思い込むしかなくて、気づかない
that weird feeling, huh? Get out.
でもこっちを見ろってくらいはっき
Your
り。
eyes will boil.
それからずっと見えてる。
It's a ghost house.
そこから悪くなってった。有名だって言われてる霊媒師にお祓いを頼んだ。そしたら5人中3人が自殺した。
Damn. Whoa, showed
霊
it.
媒師でも払えなくて、その人たちが最後のつてだって教えてくれたのがモモのおばちゃんだった。モモ、ごめん。いろいろ昔バカにしたこととか。
Yeah, he never believed you.
巻き込んじゃったこととか。
やらねえぞ。言ってんだろ。わしの能力は神声。
Oh, that's right. She's bound to the
今
city.
回の依頼はモモが引き受けるぜ。霊が見えなかった人間が見えるようになったんだ。もしかしたら金玉も関係してるかもしれねえ。呪いの家
Good one.
ぶっ飛ばしてこいや。
Good payout. Yes. Got all the girls hot up. There it is. He can't even keep the pose. Everyone, please help him out. He's having a hard time here. Of course, he was sitting next to Ayase, who sits all the way in the back corner by the window. Oh no! That's good wingman. Good wingman. Jealous. Be jealous when they're happy. Just drill it into him that it's all jealousy. Dude, you have nothing to worry about. Beautiful and cool are adjectives as well. No, come on. Look at how she talked to you at the end of the night when she wanted you to say goodbye. No. Don't scratch that out. Oh, no. No, don't overthink it, Okarun. Don't overthink it. Look at it, you see, she knows exactly where to find you and knows exactly what you're doing. Yo, score. You got it. Don't worry, just go. No. Yeah, she ain't. Yeah, she wasn't gonna. My man posed just to pull into. He posed just to get to the bag. Ah, dang. Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Gosh, don't give up so easily. Don't give up so easily. Oh, right, this dude. Like, get out of my way. He doesn't know that she's got the powers yet. There you go. The animation, man. It's so good. It is flopping side to side. Yeah, take those off. They're slowing you down. Oh, William Tell Overture. Nice. Oh. Wow, what an effect. Oh, he created his own domain. My gosh, the animation! It's so tight. No, that didn't work. Nice. Yep, put all that strength. He's all plastic. Merge. Oh, she's got his plastic heart. Oh, that's not good. You're walking barefoot in the garbage dump. Dang, Okunu, get some socks or something. That face she making. That's a dramatic sun in the background. Getting inspiration from dead spirits in wow, his hair really changed a lot from that. The self-awareness that they're mannequins. Romance, J romance going on right there. Hey everybody, here with a re-upload addendum. More chaos as always. But this one is just even more nuts because what got tagged, this is the scene where Momo's friend separates Momo and Gigi because Momo was like strangling him. Because he made the declaration that they were in a marriage, an arranged marriage, and then it segued over to Okunu, who was lying flat on the desk, and and his teacher's like jealousy is an adjective, playing into what he was feeling at the moment. It was a very well timed thing, but the problem is that given that. Netflix again. It's 20 seconds. It's a little over 20 seconds short. It's a very, very short thing. It doesn't take long. And it's very difficult to edit this without cutting off my my own reaction to the whole thing. It's like a very difficult thing. So you can see the whole thing played out just like that, and then you see the quick cut to this part here where they're saying jealous, and then there I am laughing because it was really funny, and I made some comments, saying that Momo's friend was a good wingman, blocking out Gigi. So yeah, that's how short this was. So I did all I could to really cut it down, and hopefully it worked out. But yeah, this is bananas. This is some next level banana stuff going on here. So hopefully it'll work out. So being that this is a re-upload, I just want to thank the viewers who watched this episode, this research video. Thank you very much for your viewership and your support, and really appreciate y'all taking the time to check out what I had to cover and say. I really do. Thank you very much. Well, Gigi arrived and delivered on the poses, which is pretty freaking hilarious. But he also brought another little problem for poor Okurun, and that is romance issues. Basically, aside from, of course, Gigi's posing, which was pretty hilarious, we've been peppered with a lot of romance issues that Okurun is experiencing. And what's interesting is that Dandadan really is more like a romance, a teen romance, shoujo romance, if you want. But it's really a teen romance that just happens to have aliens and spirits and such, with a lot of comedy to it. But it really does center around the teen romance part between Ayase and Ken, and shoujo anime is shoujo in general, though, but particularly shoujo anime is extraordinarily common and very, very popular in Japan. It's pretty big, just as big as shonen and a lot of action, sci-fi, fantasy, and so on. And there's a lot of cliches that you might want to keep an eye out for while watching Dandadan, and you'll see how and you'll see why a lot of people say that it's more romance than sci-fi and occult fiction. So comic book resources from Vera Vargas. 10 Ways My Love Story Embraces Shoujo Cliches. So there's a shoujo called My Love Story, and it's got a lot of shoujo cliches and tropes. So complicating them with complex character development, which is what's happening in Dandadan too. There's a very complex character development going on there. We're watching Okurun, trying to be more masculine with the, doing the weights so he can look cool to Ayase. Ayase trying to navigate her feelings for Okurun, and trying to not get flustered over his name, because she still hasn't called him by his name. The tropes aren't just a pastiche of the genre, though. They're woven together with thoughtful nuance. Shoujo is written for young female audiences, and the stories focus on interpersonal connection, internal growth, and romance plots. What's amazing about Dandadan, though, is that it is not a shoujo in the traditional sense. It's definitely a romance story, but it's definitely romance-focused and romance-centric, but guys can be able to go along with it too, along with the gals. So it works. It basically works. Shoujo is written for a young female audience, and the stories focus on the personal connection, internal growth, romance plots. My Love Story doesn't just prioritize relationships, as the title notes. The main premise is romance. Everything else, even friendship, take a close second look to Takeo's journey. I'm not sure if this is a good idea. I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna even tap into this story. But there's 10 cliches, and it's all about the cliches here. So romance first and foremost. Takeo has many things going for him. He's strong, well liked by the boys in school, And he also has a wonderful best friend, decent home life, but he yearns to be swept off his feet in romance. Aw. Takayo's a daddy lover boy through and through, something that's stereotypically a girl's role. And Takeo wonderfully subverts this trope. His problem is that every girl that he likes tends to use him to get closer to his more conveniently handsome best friend. Aw. Then there's the love at first sight trope. Takeo yearned for love long before meeting Rinko, but that doesn't mean that his immediate feelings for the girl aren't genuine for him in the audience. Takeo finds Rinko adorable, and Rinko admires Takeo right back to Rinko. Takeo is sweet. He's a sweet boy who swoops in and saves the day. Rinko isn't meant to be a one-dimensional damsel in distress either. Rather, she has a terrible experience many women can relate to, and Takeo protects her without hesitation. Then there's matchmaking. Takeo at first resolves to help Rinko connect with the person she has a crush on, which is his best friend Suna, but Suna himself understands right away what's really going on between Takeo and Rinko and decides to take action. So he starts becoming a wingman of sorts. Yeah, there's a bit of a love, the love triangle start. That's when the romance starts building up on the triangle cliche, which is what's happening in Dandadan. Well, now it's become a quadrangle because Gigi's in the mix now. Suna is more subtle than his best friend, but he is always watching out for Takeo's best interest. He's the wingman. Really, anyone could see that Takeo and Rinko are meant for each other, but Suna decides to cut directly through the nonsense to push the two together. That's the wingman. Dramatic love confession. Oh, are there so many love confessions in Japanese romance stories, especially shoujo, especially when they do it underneath the tree. It's always a tree. Always challenging Tokimeki Memorial and doing the confession underneath the tree. Takeo is very self-conscious, doesn't want to be untoward with Rinko. He also puts himself out there and been burned before by girls, so he doesn't really know how to proceed properly. Yeah, that's very tough. Suna and Rinko makes things easier for Takeo, while Rinko doesn't realize that she's part of Suna's scheme. Suna tries to tell Takeo. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the key thing is to talk. Just talk. Have a normal conversation. You know, everything, and let everything work itself out. Suna tries to tell Takeo that Rinko obviously likes him and talks about him often, but Takeo still has reservations. The union of opposites. Oh, gosh, look how small she is next to him. Oh, that's hilarious. Some shows like Lovely Complex take opposites attract concept quite literally, while others are more subtle, like in I'm the Villainess, so I'm taming the final boss. My love story leans towards the literal interpretation of the trope of the union of opposites. Has the build of a titan. Rinko's rather petite, as we can see here. She's extraordinarily tiny. Takeo visibly tries to be very careful around Rinko, even though it doesn't come naturally. Jane Austen, a classic author of Pride and Prejudice, wrote for a largely female audience, believed that the best romantic couples have similar natures. This is exemplified in Lizzie and Darcy's noble and stubborn streaks and Jane Bingley's sweet tempers in Pride and Prejudice. Shoujo anime, on the other hand, begs to differ. There are a few things more fun than a perfect union of opposites. Yeah, I mean, nobody really knows how love works. It just happens. You know, it could be opposites attract. It could be two angry people. You know, two angry people. It could be similar, like-minded. What it boils down to, it all depends on the couple themselves and how they feel for each other. That's it. You know, there's nothing the world can do, not even God himself. You know, love just happens. It just happens. The school prince, Bishonen, everybody who in school wants to be with Takeo's best friend Suna. Girls simply melt as they oogle him. Yes, the school prince is always, which is what the Gigi would be. He's like the school prince to Ayase, even though she's completely annoyed and tired of him and his JoJo posing. Suna feels romantic confessions from girl classmates like it's old hat. His polite, of course, but thoroughly uninterested. School prince is always polite, handsome, and kudere leaning. Suna's emotionally reserved nature only makes him more mysterious to the girls who tend to project their romantic ideals onto him. Pulpy misunderstandings. Yeah, there's always going to be misunderstanding. We see that a lot, especially in Dandadan. Even though it is a misunderstanding, it was actually played out very well. Ayase really was legit angry, and it didn't help that Momo puckered up when she threw him down into the onto the floor and put him in that awkward position, especially when he's pushing away from her, he's telling her no, Ken is telling her to stop it, and she got him on the ground, and then she starts puckering her lips, very aggressive, but despite but it was a misunderstanding, but for Ayase, yeah, she's seeing this pink-haired girl puckering up, and Okunun, like a young man, took it in the chin and apologized for that, and came out and came clean of what he was doing. But it does happen a lot in these shoujo dramas. Takeo feels that it's natural to assume any cute girl would wish for his friend's attention. He feels his assumption is confirmed when Rinko acts nervous around Suna. Rinko isn't nervous because she likes Suna, though. She's nervous because she likes Takeo. Suna leaves when the three of them are hanging out because, in his own words, his friend Takeo is an open book when it comes to girls he likes. Daring acts of chivalry, number 3. Yeah, we see that Ken gotta say, for one who is very for a nerd that barely stood up for himself, he really stepped up to the plate. Ken really stepped up to the plate for Ayase at times, and he doesn't hesitate, to take the initiative on things, like what we saw in this episode when they were chasing down Taro, the spirit possessed dummy statue running at high speed.
Your subscription is most awesome. Thanks, dude. May the righteousness be with you.
And basically, how you say, Okunun just immediately transformed without hesitation and just sprinted after them. Thanks for the sub, Clockwork Ghosty. Welcome. The shy dere love interest. Let's see. My love story complicates the typical shy dere love interest. Both people in the central couple, both people in the central couple fit that character type. You're welcome. You're very welcome. Welcome to the channel. Rinko is indeed shy and love struck around Takeo, but she's also not as shy and naive as Takeo. Dere is something that still escapes me. That's something that takes a lot of research because there's so many different types of dere. Tsundere, yandere, and so on. I don't know if I want to really go into a deep dive research into that because it could get very crazy, especially in the context of anime. But you'll see tons of that. You'll see tons of this dere style reactions. The perfect gentleman love interest. It could be argued that the best parts of Takeo's personality should be the bare minimum with all guys. But Takeo is a great example of someone who takes pains to actively be a good person. Okunun does that. He strives to be a good person. He does act like a gentleman towards Ayase. He's not muscular. He's not, super strong. But he is, doing weights. Saying now, at the instruction of Granny Bayonetta, he's doing the weights. He's one punch manning his way to getting stronger so he can handle the powers and everything. And he's going to end up muscular eventually because we know that once you start exercising consistently, you're going to end up becoming very muscular. Are there other cliches? Well, Otaku Cart, Justin O'Neill wrote the 10 cliches in shoujo anime that you must know. So, are there any other types of cliches in shoujo? That would be the weak female protagonist. Even while the whole anime is targeted at teen girls, the main female protagonist is usually weak, which is a big issue that every fan has. They tend to have weak minds. They often find themselves in weird situations, trapped or accused of things. Very true. which leads to the male protagonist standing up or rescuing her. It does happen. It does happen a lot in shoujo. It does happen a lot. Not in this case here with Dandadan though. In Dandadan, Ayase can stand up for herself, and she even stands up for Okurun. Much like how Okurun stood up for her. I mean, that's love. That one childhood new friend, Gigi, we got introduced to Gigi right there. You know, her first crush, and Okurun is going crazy over it. Our main character always enjoys spending their time with them, other than their relationship. However, they always turn out to be people who try to steal the lead from the person they love, or maybe always love the main character and poses a new challenge. Misunderstandings are the plot armor. Yeah, misunderstandings are always the plot armor. that makes sense. One of the most irritating cliches of shoujo is the tons of misunderstandings only grow over time. Yeah, sometimes the misunderstandings do get overdone in storytelling. You got to be very careful with misunderstandings. You gotta resolve it like real quick. If you don't resolve it quickly, then you're gonna ruin your story. You're gonna make your characters insufferable, unlikable, and you want people to follow your characters. You want your readers, your viewers to sit there and say, these characters are interesting. I want to follow them. I want to see where they go. But when you drag out the whole misunderstanding thing, you ruin everything. You basically ruin your characters. So when, as a writer, you should stop the misunderstanding as soon as possible. Don't drag it out. You know what I'm saying? If you got a plot revolving, I wouldn't say revolving around it, but if you have like a plot that injected itself in the misunderstanding, like in the case of Dandadan, then you want to try and get to that misunderstanding as soon as possible. Usually it'll be like some kind of dire situation, like we saw. Ken and Ayase started, speaking while Nessie was ready to blow them to bits, and he was able to, get through to her, what the issue was, and she understood. She came to understand, and then they got out of the dire situation. But yeah, with misunderstandings, it's very, very easy to throw it in there. It's straightforward and simple, but it can ruin your characters very easily if you misunderstand the misunderstanding. Make sure you understand what the misunderstanding is. Make sure you have a way to resolve it, and don't lean into it. Because you'll make your characters insufferable. Either one of the characters has to be extremely good looking. There's no escaping this. I mean, yeah, Okurun is not good looking. You know what I'm saying? He's got that whole Clark Kent slouch and everything. I'm not sure why that's a problem. That's what people expect in shoujo. Let me just see here, because that seems a little aggressively angry. Here, while some things are unique in the story, some overused concepts almost irritate the viewer. I don't see how looking pretty is irritating. That's par for the course. I'm sorry, but people expect with romance to see good-looking people. I don't see how that's a cliche, and I don't understand how that's irritating. People expect that. Twilight, we're looking at you and your bazillion abs. Sorry, but I have to disagree on this one being a bad cliche. This is it's very important to understand that romance is a power fantasy, primarily for females. Girls, women, they like their romance to have a power fantasy feel to it, and part of that is beauty and good looking. That comes part of the power fantasy with it. For guys, if we expect to see the male character to be, wearing a snazzy business suit, standing tall, may have some level of muscle or athleticism, that kind of thing. For women, they expect to see that, to see female characters, to exert some level of beauty, physique and so on. And of course, their eyes are locked in on the dude. They wear some of the most fanciest of dresses, physically fit. Everything that makes them jealous. Oh my gosh! You heard what he said, right? Twitter. Cancel. That's normal in romance. You're gonna have beautiful looking characters, no matter what, because it's a power fantasy. In all seriousness, romance is a power fantasy. Yeah, you can have characters with, unique physiques and so on. That's it can be done. It can be done. Like Dandadan is one of those. You know what I'm saying? Okuno's still wearing his glasses. No matter how cool his hair is, he's still walking with a slouch. He's still wearing glasses. He's still very unsure of himself. What I'm saying? He's not exactly heavy beauty looking or anything, but but he is becoming a young man, doing the things he's doing. Not just for himself, but also for Ayase. But no, it's not irritating or annoying to have beauty involved in romance, because that's what people tend to expect in romance. Kabe-don is the biggest cliche in the history of anime. It became such a cliche that other anime creators started mocking this move in some anime as well as manga. Kabe-don is the sound made by a character's hand when they slam it against the wall, usually done with pinning someone to the wall. This became such a popular move that they even made it a Kabe-don cafe. Okay, is this for real? Now we gotta see this. We gotta see this. Bam. Is this real? Harajuku. That looks like AI art. It is, yeah, that's AI art. Japan Trends. Kabedon Cafe in Harajuku with doll waiter for seducing women against the wall. Should I read this? To celebrate its cafe marriage, caramel and pudding. Okay, let me not, let's step aside from that. I think it's Japan gets very interesting at times. Well, let's stay on topic here. School festival, always a school festival. Everything's a school festival. They accidentally find their love, like Kaguya-sama. Some might include kissing, watching fireworks, like in Kaguya-sama. The students in shoujo usually put great effort into these festivals. There's always going to be a school festival. It's in every anime. Crappy friend. This becomes more of a life lesson, I guess, but it's obviously cliche in shoujo. Fushigi Yugi, excellent series. In most of the shoujo manga, the best friend of the main protagonist is usually responsible for spreading rumors about the protagonist, trying to win over the boyfriend, girlfriend, always hanging out with the main character. Well, I'm sure if I watch enough shoujo, I probably would see that trope, because some of the shoujo I've seen, I haven't seen that trope happen. The second guy is always better. The male protagonist of the story might look handsome, but their thinking is quite troubling, disrespectful, most used cliche. Usually that his heart has turned to stone for some reason. A student example would be the main lead from Black Prince and Wolf Girl. This brings us to the second point, that there's always another man in the love story. Gigi. We got introduced to Gigi. Opposites. The two main protagonists are always from two different dynamic different dynamics such as rich boy falls for middle class boy. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it happens. Love happens. You know, not every couple is going to have the same. Is going to have the same interest right off the bat. I don't understand why that's an annoying cliche. That happens in life. No two people have the same interests one for one. They'll have completely different interests. They'll have different political point of views or different outlooks in life. It doesn't happen like that where a couple can be 100% one for one identical in thought and ideology and such. That makes love boring. For the most part, that makes love boring. Oh, this was written by a dude. It's always the first guy. Almost every shoujo anime follows this pattern as per which the male protagonist is always the first guy that the female protagonist bump into. Yeah, it happens. It happens. It happens. It happens. It happens. You know? So we got introduced to Gigi, of course, today, and he poses a lot. And posing in anime is as common as water. If you're not posing, you're not animating right. You're not animating right. And one of the most famous poses in anime is what they call the Gendo pose. You know, you probably might. I mean, I could do this a lot while I'm covering while I'm covering the whole thing here. Be like, or I could just really be more ominous. Be like, You see my glasses? You got to make sure you show your glasses off. I don't think you can see my glasses. You can see my eyes, but you can't see my glasses. That's because I don't have the reflection going. There's the reflection. There's the reflection. Got to pull up that Gendo pose, and make sure you get the glasses glaring off. If you don't have the glasses glaring off, you're not Gendoing right. But it's pretty popular. You'll see that a lot. Of course, there's also the Angel's pose, famously created by, originated from Charlie's Angels in the United States. TV show. It usually has 3 characters, usually women, that does a pose. As we can see here, got the Steven Universe, got 2 dudes and 1 woman doing Q, and of course Final Fantasy X too. But most importantly, Charlie's Angels. Over here in TV Tropes, as you can see, that's their famous pose with the original 3. It's always it's very famous, very popular, and very iconic in every sense of the way. But what other type of how does one go about the anime poses? Over here in anime reference poses, they got the dynamic action, fighting, couples. Anime reference poses website is a huge variety of quality anime poses. Find exactly the pose you need to make an anime reference with. Exactly the pose you're looking for. The general tips for drawing anime poses is start with a basic skeleton to get the right proportions. Add details like facial expressions and clothing later. Use reference images to help you get the right pose just right. So basically, this whole website is a guide to pulling off poses, like for example, fighting, various types of fighting poses, from female and male. As you can see, but fists, weaponry, use of guns and swords and so on. Let's see, dynamic and action. All these, which is what we all love to see, where they're like stretching their hands out. You can see that this is one that Momo tends to do when you see her doing this pose a lot. in Dandadan, where she has one hand stretched out for Okurun while stretching the other one out to do the arm. One of those poses. And of course, we got the Sentai pose here. The running pose, the famous anime pose, that Naruto run, that Sonic run with the arms stretched back. Posing is very, very big in Japan. Some of them can be dynamic and epic. Some of them could just convey heroism, villainy. Some of them comedic. It could be even something as simple as just doing the fixing of the glasses. And the funny thing is, we can all do it. Koichi's poses. This is from Comic Book Resources by Daniel Curlin. The top 10 JoJo poses ranked. Got Koichi's pose here. This is actually pretty cool. Jack the Ripper, when he lets the blade flies. You can see the bazillion abs going on here. Lisa with her pose. Could have panned that out a little bit more so they could see. Stromheim's pose with the gun popping out. Car's attitude pose. Just look at the way those fingers twist up. Joseph's pose. Looks like he's gonna throw or something. Why he's got his leg up? The original Joestar, Jonathan. This is young Joseph too. Here's Jonathan with the finger mode. Them spirit fingers. Killer Queen, the stand. Oh man. The gang's torture dance pose. Oh man. And of course Dio's always got the pose. So yeah, posing is one of the most fun things about anime, and one of the things that everybody expects to see in anime. All sorts of poses. Even City Hunter opening theme, we get to see posing going on in the opening theme, which is pretty funny. Whether it's sitting down or being all brooding. But expect to see tons and tons of posing in all sorts of anime and manga. It's the funniest thing imaginable. And Gigi takes it up to a whole nother level and Dandadan. Oh, man. Hilarious. So, today's show, we get to spend time with Gigi, and we get to learn about his relationship with Ayase. There was the title is called First Love, but in the translations it's really First Crush. So it's kind of like a misnomer kind of thing. I'm not sure if I'll have to look at the translation here. I'll have to translate that to see if it really says First Love or First Crush, if they got this right. But yeah, I'll say, is seeing Gigi for the first time in a long time. He was called over because his parents got injured. Turns out that they are in. Turns out that they're in a new home, and the home is haunted. Clearly, it's haunted, and his parents got injured and are in the hospital. So he's living with Ayase and Granny Bayonetta until the issue is resolved. Turned out that they sent some spirit mediums. 3 of them committed suicide. 2 of them went crazy. And so he came to Granny Bayonetta to get some help. And because the world rule says that she can only borrow her spiritual energy from the city they live in, she can't go into another city, which is where Gigi's home is at, and get the spiritual power. So so they kind of got caught in a bind there. So she's going to send Momo and Ken out to help deal with the issue. Of course, Ken has had, Gigi apologizes every step of the way for his behavior. Meanwhile, Okurun walking like Clark Kent, all slouched and everything. And she's expecting him to say goodbye to her so she can say goodbye back, because she said goodbye first. Teen angst, teen romance in action. Yeah, so basically he also ends up transferring to school, where of course he's delivering on his poses, on his random poses. Just gotta love his poses, man. He's like, it's like, so funny. Look at that. Oh man. And of course, he always get the of course he gets sat next to Momo, which, you know, her friends basically keeping him away because they want to make sure that Ken is the one that hooks up with Ayase. Good old Ween girls there. But Okunu is left wondering if she still likes him. He's caught in an overthought because look what happens here. She actually shows up for him. She shows up for him, and she wants to have lunch with him, and she's willing to share her food with him. So basically, he won. He won. Ken won. We have not gotten far. We're only, what, 3 arcs in, and he already won. He already won. He won, hands down. You know, hands down, he won. She came to him with lunch and was willing to share with him. He won. Ken won, hands down. And what's so funny is that Ken doesn't see it. He doesn't see it. He's not putting it all together. And unfortunately, Gigi is not catching on that, you know, she's not interested in him and such. She's not happy that he showed up, you know, because she just wanted to be with Ken alone. I just like this. Oh man, but yeah, like I said, Ken won hands down. I mean, he won this war. The fact that she's, you know, annoyed with Gigi popping up, and she's sitting here wanting to have lunch with him, you know, and overcame the misunderstanding with the Chuni, with Miss Chuni, Sailor Moon herself. Yeah, he won. He won big. He's got Ayase. But yeah, antics ensues because Taro shows up. A spirit possessed by mannequins possessed by a spirit, just running around screaming, ah! What such a fun character this is. Looking for his wife Hana, and we get another chase scene with fantastic animation, man. Like, gosh, this is so amazing. You know, they do such a great job with these chase scenes here. Just look at this. Just look at this. Look at how it flows so nicely. And look at that. Look at that. Now, here's something that's very interesting, though. It's something that's very interesting compared to when they took on the crab, when they had the race with Turbo Granny. It was completely dark and red, so it really hid the computer effects. But here, because it's broad daylight, yeah, you actually do see the CGI. It's very noticeable, but I would say that it's not bad. Like, it's not bad because we know it's going to be CGI. But they did their best to have that 2D, the 2D, you know, work alongside the 3D. I gotta say that they, especially considering what they were trying to accomplish here, which was doing the pan out, pan around. That's not easy to do. You know, that's not easy to do with 2D and 3D animation at the same time. And I gotta say, it was a good effort. Because there have been anime where they would put 3D characters on a 2D background, or 2D characters in a 3D background, and not only is it noticeable, but it didn't serve very much anything. It didn't serve much for anything or anything unique. It just comes off disjointed and jarring. One good example that I would say that was not very good, and I can't remember it. zombie. It was the zombie idol anime where my man resurrected all these idol singers to form an idol group to resurrect a town that was dying out, according to him. I forgot the name of that. Let me know in the comments below. I completely forgot the name of that. I completely forgot the name of that. But when they show the zombie idols sing on stage, they're in they're drawn 3-dimensionally while there's a 2D background, and it's so noticeable. It's completely jarring. It's completely jarring, and it didn't really serve any purpose for the whole entire singing sequence, you know, because they were singing a song and everything and doing the dancing. It just came off weird. But here they wanted to here the animators wanted to show speed. It made perfect sense. They wanted to show that there's speed involved, like they were really going fast, and they wanted to pan the camera like this, so that way they can line it up. So I could see where the CG is coming in, and I would say that would be a bit more. I would be more forgiving. For the animation, you know, looking a little jarring, because they wanted to pull this little trick off, and that to me, that's I could let it slide. Personally, my opinion, I could let it slide if it's noticeable, because they don't have the advantage of nighttime, but they wanted to do this again, just like they did in the earlier episode with the turtle granny chase. But yeah, eventually they made it to a junkyard, which seriously, can put some socks on. You know, don't be walking around in that with no socks on. Put your socks on. And of course, Taro finds Hana, who's also a mannequin, and they had a romance moment that knocked Ken into a flashback when he had the mop top hair. And ISA was defending him. But yeah, he actually sees what romance looks like, and he's getting tips from two dead spirits possessing mannequins. Let's put that in perspective here. He's actually getting romance tips, from two mannequins that are possessed by two dead spirits. That's pretty hilarious. So yeah, another fun episode, and we got one more to go. So I'm very curious what where they're gonna stop at. I don't know, but it's gonna be very interesting to see. It's gonna be very interesting to close out the season. So yeah, good animation, good romance sequences and everything, teen angst, all that good stuff. And everyone's pacing along nicely. And we got a new plot and a new arc happening, which is kind of weird that they're starting a new arc so late in season 1. They should have saved that for season 2. I don't know. Or maybe I don't know. That's kind of weird. Huh. We'll have to see episode 12 then. So head on over to BarnesandNoble.com and Amazon.com. Grab yourself a copy of The Impossible Man, a strange fantasy novel written by me. You'll find links to the book down in the description below, along with links to other merch, such as pins, stickers, t-shirts, music. Thank you for your patronage. Enjoy the products. And if you've done any videos involving my book, The Impossible Man, thank you very much. I look forward to watching your videos. So until the next round of Dandadan research, thank you all for joining me, and I wish you all a good night, a buenas noches, and oyasuminasai.